When you're moving up the career ladder, always think about treating people with respect, because when you're on your way down the career ladder at any point, you never know who you might meet.
Thank you so much for being a part of this. And I'll just tell you a bit background why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So, which I've probably told you before, but basically, you are honestly one of my key influences from day one. I said this to you. I've started RBS 18, and I can remember that you brought everyone to McDonald's on the first day. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I think we did share some really good times in RBS.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Don't we? We went to gala dinners, went to Vienna together. We used to go for the pub on a Friday for wine. Can you remember?
No,
Little sneaky wine.
Sales were really good on Friday afternoon.
It
Wine.
It was. So it's just honestly, it's you proper progress. And I feel like I progressed quite quickly because of your influence. And but basically, I've worked with many women and met many inspirational women during my time, and I think it's just important to share this with the next generation, particularly for I've got a daughter who's 14. I know you have as well, and I think for them it's to tell them success is achievable. Diversity now in a business is essential, and we kind of all just we can juggle everything. It is doable. So basically, I just think that's an important message to get across. And it's nice to hear from all these women leaders how they do it.
Yeah.
So this is why I wanted to. So do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us what you do and where you're at, and then a bit of background, really?
Okay, yeah. My name's Becky Owen. I currently work at Leonard Curtis Group in the funding division. Prior to that, I did 25 years in banking, which makes me sound very old, unfortunately.
Not at all.
So I did 20 years RBS, where I had the pleasure of working with you, as well as so many talented people.
Yeah, really well.
Massive foundation to where I am today, the sort of learning of that role in that organisation. When I left RBS, a massive decision, but I went into startup banking. So you think you know banking, working within RBS, and you know nothing.
Yeah.
You know nothing about starting a business or a bank and all the pressures of raising the funding, the regulatory process, plus also building a bank. So that was a massive learning. So really enjoyed my time there, but it was time to move on. So that's why I work with a great team here at Leonard Curtis.
Amazing. And I feel back in the day of RBS, there's been some great leaders that have come out of the RBS days, and I think that there was, obviously, like you say, the difference in starting a new bank to being in a massive big corporate is completely different. But if we look around some of the women that we worked with, and also men, we touched on this before, they're just the careers that they've taken, they are unbelievable. And I don't think you'll ever forget that, working in that environment. Yeah, no, without a shadow of a doubt. And actually, you never stop working with those people. Yeah. So a lot of the people I work with now are people that I worked with at RBS. So building relationships in that early stage of your career, I think is absolutely vital. Definitely. I think somebody said to me, my first boss, it was hilarious. I was only 21 and I went into commercial banking. You'll know him, John Maud. Yes. And he said, I love John. One thing he said to me I didn't actually take on board. He was like, just talk to your customers let's go for a pie and a pint. I was like, I'm 21. I'm female. I'm not going to ask my customers go for a pie and a pint. But he did say to me, when you're moving up the career ladder, always think about treating people with respect, because when you're on your way down the career ladder at any point, you never know who you might meet. Oh, it's so I think true. That resonated with me because the relationships I have now have been an absolute fundamental part of my whole career and my personal life. 100%. You build friends, don't you, as well? You do build friends. And that's not just staff. I think that's customers as well. I remember back in the day when the customers would just stand by the door. They wouldn't speak to anyone else. It was you only. And they just respected you. You had this you were professional, but also friendly. You treated these customers amazing. And just as friends, you're just a people person. I think that's definitely people by people. And that's mad, because at school, I had no idea what I wanted to be. Yeah, I remember. I was so insecure. I found learning difficult, and all my friendship groups didn't. Yeah. So I always felt a little bit out of place, and I think it was only in my early career that I gained confidence. Yeah. And that's with working with customers. Definitely. I think you can learn from everybody.
And there's been male and female influences in my career that have been absolutely significant throughout the whole journey.
Definitely.
And I think you just need to take every day as a learning day
100%.
and absorb it. And good and bad, because I see people and doing things or saying things or acting in a certain way that I think I'll never want to be that person.
I agree.
So I think it's just absorbing it in that early career and sort of shaping yourself.
Definitely. And you do take the best bits out of everyone, don't you? And form your own kind of management style and who you want to be. I absolutely agree with that. So.
Definitely. Some of the customers we used to work with, amazing. And I'm working back with them now.
Oh, yeah.
So I was in Macclesfield yesterday with a client, which technically shouldn't really be client facing. Yeah. Because that's what my team do. But yeah, it's an old RBS client that we're working with it. So it's really nice to be able to still work with people.
Absolutely. And I bet they haven't forgotten you either.
No.
Yeah, brilliant.
But I'm not sure whether that's a good or bad thing, to be honest.
Absolutely good, I'm sure. Ace. Well, I'll go on. I'm just going to ask you a few questions then. So, looking back on your career, did it unfold as planned or did it evolve more organically into where you are today?
In the initial stages, fell into banking.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'd done if I hadn't fell into banking with RBS, because it just shaped the person I am now.
Yeah.
Personally and professionally. Had no idea what I was going to do. Had no idea. Thought I wanted to be a midwife.
Yeah.
At some point, and thought, oh, well, I'll take a year out and earn some money. Because I wanted to be independent, and took a job with RBS. Because my best friend worked for a bank. That was the only reason.
Yeah.
And I thought, it looks like a nice career, and she always looks smart, and she enjoys going to work. So yeah, just went into RBS. I think since RBS, early on in RBS, it was quite a male-dominated environment on the commercial banking side, which I found a little bit daunting. Mm-hmm. So I was in the retail banking division, but loved the idea of working with businesses. And a key influencer was Dave Furnivall.
Yeah.
So he was a business manager at the branch I worked at, and a business development manager, and just looked up to him. He was a great role model, and I thought, I wonder if I could do that. And it's sort of following people and seeing the career path that I started to shape then. So definitely knew I wanted to go into commercial banking. Just had a lot of doubts as to whether I could do it, as you do.
Yeah.
But building confidence sort of in retail banking and then moving over. I think from there, some roles I've strategically moved into. Other roles have just happened naturally and organically.
Brilliant.
But yeah, had no idea. No. And I'm having that same conversation with my daughter now. She's 14, choosing her options.
This is it.
And it's like, I'm trying to guide her and not put any pressure on her, but also I want her to think about her career choices and give her a wider understanding of what's available. Yeah, because I don't think I got that from school.
Nor did I. And I think that's important. And also, this is the same as, obviously, Poppy's the same age as Maddie. And I feel like don't be scared as well if you choose the wrong option, because I was exactly the same as you. I just fell into banking. And we're having this conversation time and time again with these other women leaders. And I think everyone there's only one person I've actually spoke to who knew they wanted to go into their career path. Everyone else has just fell into it. So, I think it's...
not knowing at that age is not a problem.
Not at all. And it's so young to make a decision, isn't it?
Yeah, so, massive.
Yeah, so, definitely. Yeah. And then just touching on Dave as well. Obviously, I worked with Dave as well. And he is an amazing guy. He helped everyone within the branch. He wasn't like, there was no hierarchy kind of in that branch. And obviously there was, because everyone had different levels, but everyone would help each other, which I think definitely plays a big influence on. Yeah,
teamwork. I think early in the early days of RBS, it was all a team. And 100%. I think that ethos has been absolutely fundamental through everything I've done.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
Perfect. Which female or male leaders have inspired you, and how did their influence shape your goals?
Oh, there's so many to mention. I think early in my career, sort of transitioning from retail banking to commercial was a massive step. It's very male dominated, as I said. Yeah. And I remember Nancy Butler was one of the only female BDMs, business development managers, on any sort of league tables or ever acknowledged. And it's ironic that I ended up working for Nancy, sort of 20 years later.
Wow.
So I always thought, well, if Nancy can do it, she was always passionate. She was like full of energy, and I was thinking, I could do that. So I think that was one of the early sort of influences.
Can you remember when we had this is showing our age, we used to have faxes through to show the league table, and we used to run and find out where you were in the league table and where Nancy was as well, because we were like obviously friendly competition, but it
was funny. It was
brilliant.
It was a different world.
It was.
And then obviously in my later career as sort of startup banking, I was working for Nancy.
Yeah, brilliant.
It was good. She was quite an influence early on. I think family are. So I've got a good support network, which obviously having 3 children and an intense job is absolutely vital, particularly my sister.
Yeah.
So she's been a massive support throughout everything, and mum and dad. I think from the early days, my nan was always one of those that you went to visit her and it was amazing because she'd let you do everything.
Yeah.
But you never walked away without something. So she'd Kit Kats or French fries, and she always wanted to help people. And I think sort of that is quite an influence in how I am. I like to help people grow in their careers, but also customers.
Yeah.
So I think it starts from family, and then in my career, so many influential people. You'll be speaking to Angela.
Yeah.
So worked with Angela at RBS. She came. I encouraged her to come into commercial banking, and she worked through the ranks as I went off on maternity. She flew even further than me, and it was amazing to watch her develop and grow. And I think if Angela, when leaving RBS, I didn't want to go back into banking. I thought something new was on the horizon. But Angela persuaded me to go and work with her.
Oh, wow.
Which was amazing. And my old boss, Rob Palin, was a key influencer.
Yeah.
Who influenced part of my career as well. So working for those two sort of brought me back into banking.
Yeah.
And it was great to work with her again.
Brilliant.
So many, it's too many to mention.
There is too many, and there'll be people like that come up and think, oh gosh, it was them, and then you forget, don't you? But absolutely. Mm-hmm. And what drives you each day, and how do you stay motivated? Would you say in your role?
Oh gosh, it varies, to be honest.
Holidays, I know we got a passion for
Portugal.
Portugal.
the dream villa in Portugal. Working towards that. I think being a role model for the kids. I think early doors when I had Maddie, and I took a year off. I was unfortunate I could take a year off with her. I made a decision quite early on that I definitely wanted to go back to work, and I definitely wanted to further my career. But had mum guilt, and I just tried to come to terms with that because I'm not the same person if I'm not working. Yeah. For me personally, that's
switch
just
off.
me.
Yeah, that's
good. So I think juggling everything and just seeing them thrive and being able to give them everything that I, within reason, and give them a good life motivates me. I think helping people, and whether that's working with somebody internally in my team that's really good at something, and not so good at others. I always think don't focus on your development areas, focus on the things that you're really, really good at.
Yeah, 100%.
And shaping roles around that skill is a benefit. It's a privilege to be able to have as a leader.
Definitely.
Because you can build your team and people thrive. And I think I'm at a point in my career now where I've actually achieved what I want to achieve, and to see others achieving it gives me more pride.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I think some days.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to drag myself out of bed and think, why am I doing it? And also helping customers. So in the bank, you could always support customers. But you could only work with what that bank would allow you to do. When you develop a startup, you're in charge of the difference that you can make, and the risk appetite that you have. So that was great to think, actually, just because it doesn't fit my bank's policy here in RBS. Yeah. There's a set of customers that you would want to back. Definitely. And being able to build a bank that could do that was amazing.
And does it allow you it sounds a bit more flexible then in that way,
Yeah, definitely. And you can take a bit of a view with things, whereas when you're in a big organisation, you're more constrained. I think coming into this role, it goes a level further. It's the ethos of our team is to do the right thing, but also do what we used to do with clients at the bank and look after them, shape things, and we've got the whole of the market to go to, so it's even better. Yeah, so helping customers and helping them sort of go to the next level, or helping them with an issue. Yeah, that drives me.
Brilliant. I absolutely. Brilliant. And how have you faced any moments of self-doubt or this imposter syndrome that we talk about? And how did you regain your confidence?
Oh God, every day.
We've just kind of touched on this, haven't we?
Every
But
day. Yeah.
I mean,
and juggling everything and thinking, well, I'm doing crap at everything at the moment. I'm not being a good mum. I'm never there. I've got some struggles at work every day. And I don't think anybody that doesn't say that, I'd question that. To be honest. I think for me, it's as you get a little bit older, a bit more confident, a bit more experienced.
Definitely.
I think take things too personal, particularly in leadership. You know, people management it is a challenging situation, a challenging role because you want them to take all the glory. Yeah. And you need to be there when it goes wrong and take the fall for them. So you're never in the limelight, which is fine. Yeah. But it has its rewards. So seeing people grow, develop, you know, is great. My techniques are phone the people that are close to me, that have been with me through my career, and sort of bounce things off them. Definitely. And try and get perspective.
That is vital, I think, as well. Because they know you and they know you as a person as well. So when you are facing this, it's good to get that advice, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And don't react to things. So it's quite easy to react or send an email, and an email can get taken out of context. Just step back a lot more. Take time to think about situations and build your confidence. Definitely. And think things through.
Yeah, definitely. So, and just talk like in the imposter syndrome, you've said, obviously going into the commercial banking, there was a lot of men within quite a strong, lots of men within that field. What would you say? How did you kind of motivate yourself in that and think, right, I can do this? It's just learning, you know, you can learn along the way, or was
I think it comes down to relationships. Yeah. Building strong relationships and actually thinking, wait, what you want to achieve. And that's where sort of Dave was key. Amazing, you know, being able to work with great people and learn from them and actually talk to them about it. Definitely. And be open about it. You know, and if there's been situations where it's been quite challenging, it's actually talking openly about why you're facing that challenge. 100%. And get people to understand it. And I think that's the way that I try and handle situations. Yeah. I think collectively everybody needs to be on the same agenda of supporting everybody. Absolutely. And that's the only way we can instigate change. Definitely. And I think I've touched on this before. If you don't know the answer, find out. Don't kind of try and wing it, because sometimes it comes to bite you in the bum, doesn't it? You have to kind of find out the answer. Don't be afraid to just go, don't know it, but I'll come back to you. Yeah. I won't swear.
You can.
Don't bullshit.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think find the things that you're really good at. And, you know, if you're lucky like I am to build a team around you that actually have the skill that you don't have. Yeah. So don't always think about recruiting people that are similar to you. That's the worst thing you can do, is actually think about the skills and different personalities of your team and make sure that's diverse. And you know, you've got a rounded skill set. And people that work as a team, they want to help each other. Definitely. That's a massive part. Culturally, why I work with Leonard Curtis. Yeah, brilliant. Excellent. Have you always felt supported by those around you, such as your family, friends and colleagues within your journey? Family and friends, yes. Always. And obviously the husband's at home sorting 3 kids out, so he's very supportive. I think work-wise, no. Yeah. No, had massively challenging situations. And do you think that's made you stronger, like them challenging situations in work? Has it built your resilience? And yes, yeah, it doesn't feel like it at the time though, because and it's been received from males and females, and some of the females I've worked with have been the worst to work with. Yeah, which I feel is disappointing, because I think we all need to come together and support each other, because working together collectively, you'll achieve much more results. 100%. And better results than working on your own. And Absolutely. It's a lonely place. It is a lonely place, yeah. I totally agree. The situations at the time, no, it was pretty horrific in some situations, and you get through, and then you take time to reflect and actually think, could I have done anything differently, better, to make me a better person? Yeah. But sometimes you need to acknowledge that it's not you. Sometimes Absolutely. It's other people. Yeah. And actually, you're never going to be, not everybody's going to like you all of the time. No. And you need to accept that, which is, it's quite hard for somebody that likes to be friendly and get to know people. Some people just don't want to
to
interact with you, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You just put them on the sidelines, manage that, and move on to people that you want to work with.
Absolutely. Brilliant. And having family, friends, being a leader, being a mother, how do you balance personal life and business life? I need to know this.
I'm not quite sure I've ever got the perfect balance. I think for me, working from home, 1 or 2 days a week, where I can really sort of concentrate and get things delivered, and then on the road sort of 3 days a week, works personally for me. If possible, I try and get home for tea time, and then I will work after.
Yeah.
And that's just me. So flexibility in this role, I'm allowed quite a lot of flexibility, and I let my team be flexible because everyone's got different circumstances.
Definitely.
I think as long as we appreciate that, and as long as people are doing a good job, and give them the license to operate,
definitely,
to suit their own needs. So I think, balance. And some days it's just ridiculous, but other days it seems to work.
Yeah.
But having that network around you and actually talking about it. So I talk quite openly about the fact that I'd like to be home if I can for tea time.
Yeah.
If I aren't on the odd days, that's not a problem. But I do like to be there so I can spend time with the kids when they're back from school. I'm there to sort of absorb anything that they want to talk about.
Yeah.
And they're over tea time where we have a chat and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, if I need to work later on, I'll work later on.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's different, aren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. But it is, like you say, having that, someone said that the red line kind of, or the red tape, this is my time, like you like to be home for tea time. Some people prefer to work a bit later and go drop the kids off at school or be there for different, it's not all about kids, it's other things in their life. So I think what is important to them, but definitely.
Exercising and being out with the dog is like a breath of fresh air. So making sure that you take time.
Definitely.
Out, and also holidays. I think everybody should switch off when they're on holiday.
I 100% do. Try not to sign on them emails, even though it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But I absolutely agree. And exercise, I'm a massive, me and my husband, I get up at 5:30 and get in the gym, and then we kind of tag team, and he goes in the morning after me. And I just think that's my thinking space. It's a bit of me time. It's your endorphins getting going. It sets you up for the day. Yeah, 100%. And just feeling a bit healthier as well. How do you manage stress and avoid burnout whilst maintaining resilience within your career?
Go to Portugal.
There we go. I love it.
Sunshine.
Yeah. I'm actually going in April, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Don't tell me
I can't wait.
Time out. And sometimes having a good old moan.
Yeah.
Getting it off your chest with people that you've got confidence with.
Yeah.
And can keep things confidential.
And with us as women, this does come into women a bit. We like to have a bit of a chat. We're quite open, aren't we? We quite like to tell each other our kind of problems that day, but it does just clear it out.
Absolutely. I think if you bottle it up, you just get it out of proportion. And I think I'm surrounded by people that I trust.
Yeah.
I think that's massively vital. If you've not got somebody you can trust like that, it's quite lonely, isn't it?
100%. But also be that person that they can trust as well, because you know that if they tell you anything, nothing will go anywhere. Yeah, that's important.
Exactly. Just get up and have a walk. Get out with some fresh air and just get a bit of perspective on situations when it's getting stressful. Try not to knee-jerk react. It's my initial. And if you want to type an email back, type it, but don't send it.
That's right.
Sleep on it, look at it the next morning, and then think, probably should have worded that a little bit differently.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's just like personal management techniques.
Yeah.
And understanding your limits as well, understanding yourself and being a bit more self-aware. I think that comes a lot with age, because you do mellow, don't you?
You do, absolutely do mellow. We're absolutely not as hot-headed as we once were. I would say that, but I'm sure my kids and my husband would say otherwise.
I know, you look at your daughter, you think, oh no.
She's turning to me.
Yeah. So like me.
Oh, honestly, yeah. I feel sorry for my mum and dad.
You do appreciate them a little bit more, don't you, when you've got your own daughter and children.
Absolutely. What are the most important lessons that you have learned throughout your career? I mean, we've just touched on quite a few of them then.
Yeah. It's just be respectful of people.
Yeah.
And understand that people have different circumstances to you and different things going on. You never know what somebody's faced that morning. If somebody's a little bit snappy, or they could be going through something personally. I think a lot of empathy, I care quite a lot, and sometimes that's my downfall. I care too much, and people don't care too much sometimes. But it's just appreciate people.
Yeah, 100%.
And say thank you, and for the things that they do.
Definitely.
The little things, or all matter.
Definitely. And I know that like when I was a manager, my manager style was very similar to what you did, because you do treat everyone differently. You know your team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody is completely different than the other person. So you wouldn't kind of do the same management style on both of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I know that's important for me, and I've had really good feedback from that, and that's definitely something I've learned from yourself and other people.
Not one size fits all, and your leadership style needs to adapt to the type of person that they are, and make sure you get to know people.
Yeah,
understand
definitely
what motivates them.
Yeah, just the little things, isn't it? Like if you know, like obviously we like Portugal. If you knew that someone just when are you next going on holiday, when are you going next going to Portugal, and just kind of knowing them little things, personal things around them. How do you define success both personally and professionally?
Oh God, that's a tricky one.
I know.
Being able to do what I want to do with the children, having the freedom to say yes to them within reason.
Yeah.
Having that quality time, in the sun, or for me personally, being able to take them to places and do things with them. At work, seeing other people succeed, that's been part of my team, and see them grow and adapt and be better at what they do, and then and just typical. She's done absolutely amazing.
And you must be so proud of that.
Yeah,
you had like influence over that.
And I don't understand leaders that want to hold people back.
No,
because it'll always come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
So always don't push people that don't want to be pushed, but support them to get where they want to get to.
Yeah.
And actually, if somebody's really good at something, just clear the path for them to do more of what they're good at. And work with them. So I think seeing people achieve and grow in the team and it is probably more rewarding at my stage in my career than me doing better or having going for a promotion or.
I get that, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, brilliant. And what's next for you?
Oh my God. No idea. So we've still got a lot to deliver here. The funding team are great, but we want to grow that. And the reason we want to grow that is to replace the bank manager for clients. SMEs are under supported.
Yeah.
So I think the more we can grow our team, the more we can deliver the right finance for businesses. But it goes beyond finance, because the clients and the SMEs we work with, it's quite a lonely place.
Yeah.
So supporting them into talking to things like strategy and operations, all that kind of conversation, adds more than just finance options.
Yeah.
It really gets to the team really get to understand clients and help them as well.
Yeah.
So I think growing the team is
Definitely
on the agenda.
And
supporting the kids in their career path.
Yeah.
Over the next 5 years.
I know, yeah.
Scary.
It's so scary, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And just being there as a mum for them.
Brilliant. And then we've just touched on this earlier, but if you were sitting here with my daughter or with your daughter, just about going through these options, what advice would you give them?
Don't sweat over it. What will be will be. Just try and sort of think about what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Try hard. As long as you're trying, then that's all we can ask of you.
Absolutely.
I don't think you would put too much pressure on them. I think naturally they'll find their way, as we did.
Absolutely. This is it.
And we'll help them and guide them and be there for them.
Yeah.
No matter what happens.
Definitely. And hopefully they will look up to us as role models.
Well,
like,
I'm not quite sure. I'm at the stage where she's a little bit embarrassed.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I have all sort of emotion. I'm a best friend one day. And she don't want to know me.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've been having her friends, actually. I was saying to Callum on the way up, trying to befriend me on Snapchat. And Papa's like, don't you dare, Mum. And I'm like, why? I'm happy to be friends. But not allowed. So yeah.
I know, last Saturday we went out for a couple of drinks just at the local. So left Maddie and her friends in. We got home, they were all on the settee on the phones. And so we put the disco lights on, put the music on and challenged them to a dance-off.
Oh, dear.
And by the end of the night, it was like a little teenage disco.
I love that. I bet they're like, next
doing the
Saturday.
worm.
I love that. That's it though, but they need to show that we are fun still.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're still young at heart, aren't we? So we can definitely I do feel
Never
like,
grow up.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? I
Yeah.
do feel like I've just come out of school, really.
I know.
But
That's scary.
yeah, but bro, that's it.
Thank you.
That was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah.